and welcome back to Made Wonderfully Season 2, Episode 2.
We've made it.
Yes, thank you for joining us. If this is your first time seeing our faces, welcome. We're glad to see you, and we hope to continue to see you and for you to continue to watch. If you are returning, hey, how you doing? Welcome back. We family, so we know you and everything. So I just want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in and watching us. How are you feeling today, girl?
Girl, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Yes. How are you?
I am feeling well. I'm feeling, what do you call that? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling relaxed. I'm feeling at peace, and I'm feeling like, we're getting things done, and that always makes me feel good. How are you guys feeling today? Leave it in the comments below. We would definitely love to chit chat with you. I do hope that you're feeling good, but should you not be feeling good, you can still let us know. We are genuinely concerned, and we do want to help encourage you and put you back onto that right place, because we all have our days, and sometimes we just need a little bit of word of encouragement. So I hope that you found a home in us. I hope that you feel encouraged. I hope that you know you can prosper and you can do all things. And so today we are going to be talking, if you've seen our last episode, we talked about being mindful and looking out for the signs of when you have people that are good in your life versus people who are not good in your life, when you have people that are genuinely happy for you versus people who are not genuinely happy for you, people who don't want to see you thrive. We talked about them being sometimes attracted to your light and wanting to dim your light. So today in this episode, we're going to talk about how to get out of survival mode. So it kind of works hand in hand about how to get out of survival mode. I do want to offer a prompt to everybody to put in the comments. The prompt will be to close your eyes and then envision yourself as the most successful version of yourself. How does that version of yourself look? How does that version of yourself feel? How does that version of yourself walk through life? How does that version of yourself dress, talk, eat? Where do they live? How do they travel? Put that in the comment section below.
I've seen it, honey.
Yes, I'm gonna list mine as well in the comment section below. The reason I said that, because for me, getting out of survival mode kind of goes hand in hand to like the person that you want to become and where you want to be.
I see that point of view.
Yeah, so I would feel like if you can at least see and envision who you would like to be, and how does that person, that version of yourself feel, how does that person, that version of yourself dress and move through life, you can start to create a goal plan on how to not just survive but to actually thrive in this season of your life.
I love that. I love that. I see your point of view. I also wanted to add to that and say, if you start now, you're already that person that you want to become.
Yes.
I feel like with getting out of survival mode, we are in a hustle culture. It's very much you do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do later on. And I just feel like sometimes it could really drain you, but you got to give yourself some grace.
Yes.
So with survival mode, I also want to kind of focus also on making sure that you know your worth at that certain time, because sometimes we can get like probably upset that we're not where we want to be in life, and so we stay stagnant in that area of like, I don't feel like it's going to get better, so I'm just going to do what I'm doing right now instead of trying to sometimes focus on getting better. Because sometimes, for instance, we work that 9 to 5, then we come home, then we it's like we're on autopilot, and we just feel like we probably don't even have enough time in order to get out of that mode per se. So I feel like you have to change your mindset as well.
Yeah,
I know that was probably all over the place.
No, I understand that mindset. I would have to agree with you. Mindset is key, which is why I did want to propose that prompt to you all, to us, and to everyone watching as well, because I do think if we shift the way we view ourselves and our current situation, things can change. I would say, and this is, I know we talked about it in the first episode, that I went to a revival virtually, and one of the things that was mentioned was having big faith. And I feel like when I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to tie into what we have to talk about today. Because I feel like getting out of survival mode, you need some big faith. And what big faith was defined as is not letting your current circumstance be the thing that stops you from asking for, from praying for, and for believing that you can have what you are asking for. Sometimes our given circumstances make it seem like, dang, I don't think getting X, Y, and Z is possible. So I'm not going to even pray about it. I'm not going to even ask for it. I'm not even going to put myself out there for it. Like, for instance, like if you have a job and like, you know, you're working your butt off, you know that you probably could get a raise, but you say, well, I see they didn't give such and such a raise, or I see that they haven't. So I'm not going to even ask. But it's just like, you need to have some big faith, and even if the answer is no, you would never know unless you try.
That's true.
So you have to have some big faith and put yourself out there, and just like not let your current circumstances dictate what your future can be. And for me, this really hit home for me because I have like some financial goals that I definitely want to reach this year, and definitely going into 2026, but particularly I want to start this year. And just with like everything going on, like we see the current state that we are in America, we see the administration that we have in America, and we know that budget cuts are happening here in America, and we already have seen a lot of employees have been laid off, a lot of people who work federal jobs have been laid off, and these are people who, you know, depended on their jobs. And I feel like every job is important, so for them to just cut these people jobs and like fire them and lay them off,
unfairness,
because they felt like it's not a fair, it's not an essential job or
family to
and it's just like everybody's job is essential. But getting back to my point is that like seeing that sometimes can really weigh down on you. I know for me, I'm an empath, I'm very sensitive.
You can feel everything.
And and for me, like it was starting to really drain me and weigh down on me. And it's just like, dang, like I don't know, can I meet my financial goals with everything that's happening? And it's just like when I heard him say today that like, no, you need to have big faith, you need to beyond the circumstances of the things that you see, you need to go and you need to ask for it, you need to pray for it, you need to believe in it, you need to believe that it can happen. You can ask God for it, and you have to say with conviction like it's going to happen, like it already has happened.
Speak positive.
And I was just like, you know what, like because it is a mindset. Like if I was to stay in that mind frame of like, oh, I don't think I'm going to meet my financial goals, and if that's my mindset, then it's like I'm not going to put I'm not going to put in any effort to try to meet it, because it's just like I'm just looking with my physical eyes. But it's just like, no, if you get out of your mind, you change your mindset, you put on that big faith, put on your big faith pants, lift it up, pull it up, and you get out there and you believe it, and you put, you know, you do your part. I feel like all you can do in life is do your part. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my big faith pants on, I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to leave the rest to God.
Yes, because you can't control everything.
I can't control
So you can only do what you can. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I totally understand. I love that.
So I feel like that's like one part of getting out of survival mode. Also, I think another thing is, as we get older, again, life circumstances, the weight of the world, it starts to wear us down, and we lose that innocence, that thing that we had when we were a kid, that was so pure and, you know, playful and happy. And I feel like getting back to that can kind of like get you outside.
I do it. I feel like during survival mode, you definitely have to find something, a small hobby that, because I feel like when we get into getting hobbies, we gotta do it and all right, now I gotta get paid for it. No, I feel like there are certain things that you just need to keep for yourself in order to keep yourself sane, because the life is so hard right now. If I get a Lego set, I am so happy. My brain is like, okay, let's relax. You get a coloring set, you're just relaxed. We had that innocence of like being playful and loving, that now when you get older, everything is gray. It's like work.
Exactly.
We all know work. It's like, oh my gosh, I just can't. And you just feel like you're gonna be stuck in that gray area. So sorry to cut you off, but having that moment of like, oh my god, that imagination. We had great imagination when we were kids. That was manifesting back then. So
and that exactly. And I was bringing that up because like I don't know if you remember when we were in high school, and we would just explore. Like we would get on the train, and then like we would pick a random stop to get off of, like a stop that we had never gotten off of before, and we said, okay, we're going to explore, and we're going to see this. And I feel like by doing that, by exploring, we got to see things that was different out of our everyday life. So we got to see how other people lived. We got to see how school was for other children, because like school was getting out at the same time, so we got to see like what was the conversations other students were having that came from different neighborhoods, and like what were their lifestyles like. And we just got to see and explore, and we got to see like, oh, what would it be like if we lived on the Upper East Side, or if we lived here or we lived there. We got to see those apartment buildings and just different things. So like I would say just going out and exploring and traveling and just seeing what life can be outside of your current circumstances, outside of your everyday norm, can help you get out of that survival mode, because then you can start to see yourself, you can start to picture yourself, and then you start to ask yourself questions like, what would it take for me to get here?
There you go.
What would it take for me to live this lifestyle? What would it take for me to have these things? And then you'll start doing your research. And by you doing research, sometimes you realize things just start with one step. They say like, what's the quickest way to eat an elephant? One piece at a time. And I think if you look at the big picture, for me, because sometimes I see like the big picture, and that can be very overwhelming. And sometimes that keeps you stuck because you just see the full picture and you get overwhelmed and you're just like, oh my goodness, it's too much. And then you just sit and you're like, frozen. I can't do it. I can't. But I feel like if you take it one piece at a time, if it's like a certain goal, like, okay, how do I get to, this is my end goal. What's the first step I can take? And I think if you make the first step your big plan, it makes it easier. Like make that your goal. The first little step. If it's just like, okay, I need to take a class to get a certificate. Don't worry about the big picture of I need to get there.
The steps to get to your goals is important.
Right, just take the step. Take the class. Okay, you took it. Now you have the certificate. Okay, I have the certificate now. Now start, applying for those jobs or whatever have you, or starting the business that you now can start because you have the certification. Because there's certain things that if you have like the licensure and the certification for it, you can start to pretty much branch your own business within that market and within that sector. And people who are looking for those services will hire you. So like for instance, a lot of hospitals, due to the current administration, are closing, sadly. With that being said, there are people who have certifications and degrees. Those people who have those certifications and degrees can start opening up their own businesses. Of course, you may need some other licensures, some other license to go with that as well. But people who may be like, oh, I want a private home health aide, or I want a private nurse. And if you have the certifications to be a nurse and you're a registered nurse and you have all those things, you can probably look into what it takes to start your own business and being a private care nurse. Or if you have the certifications that you need to be a home health aide, some people will pay money because they have an elderly parent, or they have somebody who is not physically doing well or not mentally doing well, and if you have those certifications, they may be willing to pay you for the service, for you to come to their home and to service them. So it's just like, you take those little goals, wherever those goals are for you. It may not be medical, it could be other things as well, but wherever those goals are, you take it one step at a time, and that will help you get out of the hustle and bustle, and it can help you get into like, oh, I'm doing something that I love, I'm accomplishing my dreams, I'm accomplishing my goals, whatever that may be for you. That was just an example of how you can have this whole big plan, and you can just start small, and then before you know it, you are living the dream that when you were closing your eyes and you was envisioning it, you're living it now.
Love that.
But you kind of have to see it for yourself. You have to envision it for yourself. You have to see yourself outside of your current circumstances in order to get there. Because if you can't even see yourself out of your current circumstances, how are you going to get there?
How are you gonna get out? I feel like another reason why sometimes, me personally, I can get in those survival moments is because, again, I can probably see those big pictures and I will take those steps, and then you know what happens? I fail. But then you start getting discouraged and you don't want to do those things anymore because you just feel like, I've already failed that dream is probably not mine anymore because I failed. But I want to get you guys to understand that sometimes when you fail, when one door closes, another one opens.
Or a window will open.
A window.
Sometimes it may not be a door. You gotta go through that window.
Sometimes it's a crack.
Sometimes it is a crack.
But I wanted to say, every time you fail, you actually learn something new about yourself. You actually learn something new about your dream that you need to go towards. You get better at it from time. So just because you have failed getting to that bigger picture does not mean you're not going to get there. So what's delayed is not denied. You're going to get it. Okay? Sometimes we do have to fall in order to pick ourselves up and get more encouraged to go get out of that survival mode.
Yes.
I know. I get there.
I agree. Definitely. Because it is easy to talk down about yourself, especially when you have done something that seems like a failure. But I will also say, like, your failure may be somebody else's success. You know, like, it really could be, or it could be like, now you know, like, something new, like you learned something from it. I would say if you at least take something out of a failure, then it's not really a failure. Because then you got something from it.
Sometimes you learn something else, like you can see a bigger picture, and like you said, you will learn something else. You probably will find something else you loved more than that bigger picture. Like, I don't know, let's give an example. Let's say I can't even think of an example right now, but I'm saying it didn't. Oh, it did. Well, I guess I'll say like makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I was thinking, but I didn't know.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
So, for example, I loved makeup. I thought I wanted to be like a makeup artist for sure. But I feel like as though I actually loved doing it on myself and being more creative with myself. I just felt like that was my outlet. Like, I just loved being creative. I didn't mind doing it for others and building up a clientele. But I just felt like after a while it wasn't fun anymore. And so I was like, dang, I still love being creative. That was my outlet, but I don't want to do this as a business anymore. And then kind of the same thing now with my current career. I am a medical assistant, but I'm realizing like there is something else in the medical field I love more than my current situation. It's time to take those steps there. Will I get some hurdles in the survival mode? Yes. But it's all how you believe and how you picture it to get there.
Yes.
I wanted to also make a point where sometimes survival mode can also come from the trauma that you've been through.
Yeah.
Season 1, we did all that. We did where trauma, how to heal from trauma. But just to pull back just a little bit, you can stay in survival mode if you've had some trauma growing up. I feel like not currently, but like I feel like as though I experienced survival mode simply because, like, you know, maybe you were in a single household and all you had to do was just to get by, and there were tough times. You feel like the older you get, you try to make better decisions. However, you're so used to like your old ways that it's just like you can't even see yourself getting out of that. So sometimes you just gotta pray that out and go with faith and say, okay, I am no longer living in that situation anymore. I am better than what I've become, I've become. So trying to get out of survival mode in that way as well. Like you could get survival mode basically because of like trauma times you've been through.
Yes. I would agree. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But those were pretty much my notes. For me, is to explore yourself, see yourself, envision yourself living your very best life, and then start to think about what it would take for you to have that, and live in those moments now. I know I would add on to it and say that sometimes when we think about our big goal, and there are steps to get there, we feel like we can't be happy in the now until we have the end result of whatever our goal is.
The journey now is way more important.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. So yes, on that journey that you're on that road that you're on, those little steps that you're taking along the way, you can get out of survival mode now and enjoy your life on the journey to get into your end result, to your end goal. So while you're taking those little steps, I would say be that person that you already envisioned yourself to be. So even though you're working towards that person, you can live in who that person is now.
And be grateful too.
Yeah, so if that person is like, okay, like if you say like, oh, I vision myself living in a high-rise apartment, going to Pilates every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, driving a nice car, eating good food, acting, doing my career, and having my business with my mom, and it being a flourishing business. If that is what I'm closing my eyes and I'm seeing, what are things that I can do now to actually feel like I'm already her, and I'm just working on accomplishing the physical part of the goal. So what are things I can do? I can definitely pull up a Pilates class and start doing Pilates, right? So there it is. Like, so it's little things that you can do. I feel like we have more things tangible that we can actually change while we're on the journey to becoming that person that we want, while we're on the journey to our purpose. I feel like there are things that we can do tangibly in the moments that we are in now that is going to help elevate us and make us feel like that person that we are trying to become. I will also say, go out, put yourself out there, and that's advice for myself. If you know me, I'm an at-home person. It's hard to describe what I am. I am an outside, inside person, meaning you will catch me outside, but mentally I'm inside my house. I am inside my house. I be out, and I push myself to go out so that I can make genuine connections, so I can meet people that are, again, lining up to the person that I'm on the journey to becoming. And being in those spaces really do inspire you. When you go to different conferences, like I just went to a women's conference the other day, it was so inspiring meeting with other women and just hearing their journey and hearing like their career paths, and like just seeing that like there is, even within the current administration that we have, there's still hope. There is, and we can still make it through this. So it's just like putting yourself out there to be in those situations. And as, again, like I said, my mentor Lewis would say, he would say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's kind of where I am living right now, is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable by putting myself out there. I noticed with this women conference that I went to this time, I am like proud of myself. I'm gonna pat myself on the back, as you should, because yes, because years ago I would be like the person in the back in the corner like this, like, oh, I don't want to bother nobody. Excuse me. I don't want to bother nobody. So it's like I'll be outside, like, so you will physically see me, but like I'll be like, you're not present. Be in the moment, live in the moment. And now at this conference, I actually talk to people. Yes, girl. See, this is how you know. I talk. See, this is how you know a genuine connection, because I didn't even get to tell her yet. But yeah, like if you know me, you know like I am very much to myself. I'm very much like this, like, oh, hi. So hard. But it's just like, yes, I actually talked to somebody. I introduced myself. Yes, I talked about the clothes. Yes. You know what? You felt comfortable. I felt comfortable, and I'm breaking outside of my shell. Proud of you. Thank you. I'm proud of myself too, and it goes back to what we said in episode 1: having good people around you. Yeah. So when you hang out with like your sister group or like whatever good connections you have, if you have mentors, if you have other people who are in the same career field as you that are encouraging you and are pushing you forward, then that helps. Because for me, it really is my community. It's the people around me that's pushing me forward. It's my team that's around me. So that's my sisters, that's my mother, that's my brothers, that's, you know, my mentors, that's my other actors, you know, my acting community that surrounds me, that made me get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So now it's just like when I'm in those settings, I feel a lot more comfortable with saying like, hi, I'm Aaliyah, hi, I'm an actor, hi, I'm this, like I'm feeling more comfortable and confident. You're living in your truth. Yes. And before I would just be really shy. Before I would feel like, oh damn, I wish my mom was here. Because because my mom, like if y'all ever was to meet my mom, she is so lively. She is the life of the party. She is the party. Okay, the party don't stop till she walks in. Okay, she is the party. Okay, my mama is that girl. So for me, it's like when I look at my mom, like she can just walk into the room and she just lights up the room. She lights up the room because she is the light. She has the light within her, and she's confident. She's not shy. She'll walk up to anybody and start having a conversation. She'll see somebody and just start striking up a conversation. She'll make a joke, and I'll come back. I'll be like, who are all these people? And she's like, oh, I just made some friends. All these people. I'm like, and there's been times like when me and my mom, we worked like on similar gigs and had jobs together, and people be like, oh, where's your mother? Damn, I miss your mama.
They know her presence.
Yes, her presence. Like, she makes herself known. She lights up in any room. Nobody dims her light, and she's just confident, and she puts herself out there. And she's a really big advocate. So for me, as somebody who's more to myself, who's more shy, like the actual complete opposite of my mom, not the complete opposite, because it's like I'm like my mom with people I know. Like, once I feel safe,
I understand what you're talking about.
Once I feel
I'm
safe,
like that in general.
and it's people I know, then it's just like, then you get to see, hey, you get to see this me. But like, if we was just meeting outside and I don't know you, I may be like, hey, hi, like, are you safe? Are you a safe person? Okay, you safe. Let's cheer.
You know what I want to say about that?
Yeah.
Being shy can really lock you out of good opportunities.
Can it?
Girl, because I was just thinking that, I'm like, oh my gosh. And sometimes if you're in survival mode, you will find some opportunities and you feel like you're not good enough, so you won't take them.
Exactly.
Please. You are worthy of every dream that you want to accomplish.
Yes.
Take it. Don't be too shy. Also, when I say I'm so proud of you, that was steps. You literally got into groups and everything and just started with the hello. That's all it takes. So get out of your comfort zone and put yourself out there, and don't miss those opportunities. And if you miss it, well, there'll be more. But I was gonna say, create your own.
We are living in a time where you kind of do have to create your own, and you can't wait for a person to save you.
No,
you have to step in and put in some work to do that. But yeah, so I listen, I was proud that I didn't feel nervous or anything. So I came a long way, and I really do have to give it up to Ellis Acting Studio. I'm sorry, best acting studio ever, because it's like besides just working on the craft of acting, it's pinpointing an area where you can grow at, and I feel like that's important to have in community. It's important to have in friends groups. It's important to have in pretty much every type of relationship a person can have. It's to have people around you that's not going to just celebrate your wins, but they're going to hold you accountable. They're going to hold you accountable. They're going to tell you the truth, and they're going to push you to elevate yourself and to grow in those areas where you are weak at. And for me, it definitely was public speaking and letting my light shine and letting my personality of who I am just be displayed. It doesn't matter if I know you or not. I should still be able to walk into a room and be me. There you go. Yes. And I would say definitely that through that and being around, my acting community, it has helped me, because the amount of times Lewis pushed me out there and was like, okay, you're gonna be hosting. Go. He was like, you're gonna do fine. Like, you got a great personality. Just be you.
Because he knew you could do it. And look at you doing it.
And then I started doing it, and then I got comfortable with just speaking and being around people, because now I do host, like, when he does come to New York, the open houses. So it's just like I'm getting used to just being in front of people, being in front of a crowd, and just talking and just being myself.
It becomes easy breezy.
And now I can do that a lot better when it comes to networking opportunities, where I can just go out and just be myself and then share who I am, share what I have to offer the world.
And that's how it needs to be.
And then just build upon there. So, like, find yourself a good community, find yourself a good team. We are living in an age where, like, there are resources and it's out there. Like, if you go on TikTok, there's people who have different communities. So look for, like, different community groups in your city that you can meet like-minded people. Again, like what I said, like, oh, like, I want to do Pilates. You sent me a thing where it's like a Pilates thing's happening next week. Like, register TikTok. Register. It is different, like, events going on throughout the city that people are curating these different community events. So, like, whatever it is that you say, oh, my future niche, they do this, they do that, they do yoga, they do Pilates, they swim. There are different groups that meet up that do those activities, and you can start to place yourself in there and those things, and you can connect with other people who have similar similar interests as you and common goals as you, and you can work together and build each other up, and then it'll help you get to your goals faster. I feel like when you have a community, you get to your goals faster, because like the areas that I may be weak in, the other person to be strong in, and that is that's something like where I would go out with my mom. It would help me, because in those areas where I was really shy, my mama ain't shy. She would get out there. And so this is my daughter. She's an actor. She's really good. That'll be her. They're like, oh, you're an actor. I'm like, yes. Oh, you're not good. Let me see your video. Oh, okay, here it is. Why are you acting like that? You're an actor. I'm like, well, you know, I do a little stuff.
And it's not, and see, that's the thing too. Don't be doing yourself.
Yep.
It's not, I'm just doing this little thing. No, that's big.
It's big.
It's big. And I want to say too, not only should you do some a prompt, create a vision board. I done created myself on Pinterest, and I'm not going back. I really created a board, and I was like, that is me this summer. Like, even if I don't do all those things, but that person that I want to become, like you said, she looks this way. I was like, no, I am definitely going to become this. For this season, y'all, should I add that we really got in our closet and we were just like, yes, this is part of survival mode, but you know, fruitful. So we literally created outfits with what we already have, because we have outfits at home. And I'm looking through Pinterest. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I looked at Pinterest and all the boards of who I want to become. I'm like, oh my god, I already have certain of these pieces. I'm going to become her right now.
Exactly. So wait, just like do it. Yep. And like you said, we picked pieces that were in our closet already. And so we're not spending tons and tons of money on new clothes to do it. Like, sometimes you don't even realize the amount of things that you already have physically and within you. So I would just say tap into that and use the things you already have. And then if you need to get more later, you get more later. But so I really do hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope that we gave you tips, or at least feel inspired to kick out that survival mode. Yeah, we can kick it out. Yeah, kick out that survival mode. Kick it out, okay? Hit it with the mucky knuckle, okay? Kick it on out of your life, okay? You can do this. List in the comments again the prompt, which is to close your eyes, envision yourself, how your future self look, the version of yourself that you want to become, how they look, how they act, how they smell, how they talk, how they dress, what they do for a living, their favorite activities, where they live, things like that. Close your eyes, envision that person, and see yourself living that life. And then put what that is in the comments. I'm going to put my vision in the comment. And yes, you can definitely do those steps now and become the best and best. Put it on. See, listen, put that vest on and be the best version of yourself. Okay. So until next time, we will see you in episode 3. Wait, no, that looked like the. Y'all know what I mean. Episode 3.